All right then. As I said, my daughter Maud made pizza at the weekend. I'm not at all sure what was in it. It was some sort of sourdough pizza, because we didn't have the right sort of pizza to make normal pizza, and she's vegan anyway. But it was really good. I have to say, it was really tasty. She started the day before. She proved it. She had it in the fridge overnight, or wherever it was overnight, and it really, really worked. But I know that you can't get the flour out there. We couldn't get the flour that she wanted, but she used something else somehow that was in the back of the cupboard. So, talking of flour, I'm going to talk now to Abigail Holsborough, who's the lead miller at the Brixton Windmill, no less. Hello, Abs.
Hi, Robert. How you doing?
Very well indeed. So, first of all, how long have you been a miller at the windmill?
It's been almost 4 years this year.
Wow, how do you how do you become Windy Miller?
I found it on Twitter. And
Seriously?
just yeah, literally, I was like, okay. Firstly, didn't know there was a windmill in Brixton,
Yeah.
and secondly, I want to do this. And yeah, that was it.
How fantastic is that? So did you have to go on Windy Millering courses, or how does it?
Sadly, there aren't many courses at the moment teaching milling, but it's literally just learning on the job. So all our volunteers get training, and you just kind of pick it up as you go along.
So talk us through the process first of all, before we hear what you've been doing recently.
Sure. So we get our grain from a farm in Hertfordshire.
Right.
The grain will come down and we literally pour it in. So we don't use wind, although people are kind of sad to hear about that.
Oh.
The windmill hasn't used wind since the middle of the 19th century. So we have a electric engine.
Yep.
We pour the we pour the grain into the mill, and literally let the machine do its work.
How long does that process take from start to finish?
I suppose, I mean, we mill from like 10 to 1,
Right.
and that includes cleaning process, sanitizing everything, all the surfaces and the machine, and then bagging up the flour at the end. So I don't know, actually milling might be about an hour,
Right.
45 minutes or so.
Okay. And what sort of flour do you get at the end of it?
It's wholemeal flour.
Right.
Yeah.
And I presume at the moment your wholemeal flour is in great demand, because it's one of the things that I don't know who would have predicted this. Toilet roll I might have predicted, maybe even wine I might have predicted, but you can't get flour for love nor money.
You can't. And so I suppose obviously it's not great circumstances for us to be getting more demand, but it's good that more people are getting familiar with our flour and just getting stuck in. People are making all sorts, which is really great to see.
And do you normally sell the flour, or what normally happens to the end product?
Yeah, we sell. There are 10 shops now across South London that we supply to,
Right.
including bakeries. So
Right.
there are some bakeries who take wholesale flour from us, including the old post office bakery, and they make loaves and things out of it. And then we also sell to the shops where people can buy just ordinary bags of flour from there.
But at the moment, as you said, ordinary bags of flour are worth their weight in gold.
Yes, yes, they are.
So what are you doing with your flour at the moment?
So as well as we're still stocking the shops that we've stocked before, who are still open. Some of them are doing deliveries to people's homes.
Yeah.
But we're now also donating flour to local food banks
Right.
in the area.
And I presume you've become very popular. You
The mill
personally?
itself.
No, you personally.
I mean, more people know my face now because I'm literally cycling around every week, getting to the mill and back and dropping flour off to people as well.
Seriously.
Yeah, so
Do you
it's
think?
nice.
Do you think that all of this flour is actually being used to make anything, or is it just sitting in people's cupboards?
Thankfully, from the people I've spoken to and heard from, they are actually using it. And some people actually are they're trying to figure it out because they haven't used flour that's so fresh. We literally are milling on the day, packaging it up
Does
on the
that make a
day, and
difference? You think?
it does. I mean, I'm not a baker, so I won't
Sure.
pretend to know. But people say, yeah, the freshness. A lot of times, the flour you get from the shops has been sat in a warehouse for quite some time,
Right.
and it does make a difference when you bake with it.
Fantastic. So but you're not a baker yourself. You haven't
I'm
tasted the
not.
fruits of the results of this.
I mean, I've definitely tasted it. We have a lot of volunteer bakers who drop off cakes and loaves when we have events and open days. But I don't bake personally. No,
Fantastic. Now, obviously, you haven't got open days or events at the moment because of
no.
the current situation. But are you still able to go about your work?
I suppose we are. So we have had to have letters written up, just kind of explaining that we are essentially key volunteers, I suppose, at this time,
Yeah.
and that allows us to keep milling. We're in the middle of a park as well, so we're just trying to be mindful of how many people are in there at the time. But yeah, it's been fine so far.
Well, thank you very, very much for telling us about what you do, Abs.
No worries.
Thank you. So there you go. That was Abigail Holsborough, who's the lead miller at the Brixton Windmill, which is providing local businesses, but also providing flour to local food banks. And I do think thinking about food banks is really important at the moment. You know, there's people out there that, you know, unfortunately, food banks are always needed in this city of ours. But I think right now they're going to be needed more than ever. So if you can make a contribution, whether it's of food or money or online or whatever it is, that ain't a bad thing to do.